Wow. Please, you guys need to come and see this thing. So there's this guy in my area called Lord Spark. You don't see him during the day, but at night, he's very active. I went to the police, man, I was scared though. They were nice to me and all, and they promised to protect my identity. 3 days later, the police showed up at Lord Spark's door.
See action.
When the guy sees such one, see him calm down. The police wasted no time. They went straight to where the guns were hidden. Then do the investigation well. They were arrested and charged to court the next day for theft, illegal possession of firearms, and resisting arrest. And stolen cars were recovered.
Don't mean it. Our Nigeria police, if it happens,
with good laws,
proper funding,
training, and cooperation,
if it happens.
Don't you people sell imported materials here? As beautiful as the shop is.
Auntie, buying foreign goods does not help our economy. Neither does it boost local production. And the good thing is Nigerian-made products are high quality. Really? And to make Nigeria great again, that is why I only sell made in Nigeria products. Because change begins with me.
I'm convinced. Change begins with me too. Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Yeah, many thanks for staying with us. You're still watching New Dawn on Ogun State Television, and we apologize for that delay. Now let's hit the ground running and let's talk business. Well, America has always dominated the world of startups, along with buzzing activities in venture capital. But the good news is, well, some countries are trying to catch up, and Nigeria is one of the leading countries with around 144 startups. Yes, 144 startups in Nigeria in 2021, where we could, in 2022 next year, we should have more than that. So now that would lead us to this topic, realities of building a startup in Nigeria. And joining me virtually is Mr. AYOKUNLE BANKOLE, the company information and compliance registrations, tax and audits service, expatriate management. You're welcome to the program, Mr. AYOKUNLE BANKOLE. Hello.
Thank you so much, Moses.
Okay.
It's my pleasure having you this morning.
Okay, yeah, many thanks for joining us. Now, let's talk about startups, and let's just start from the scratch. How can one differentiate a small business, from a startup? Talk to us. What are those things one should look out for to say, no, this is not a small business, this is a startup?
Oh, okay, thank you so much for that question. There's a thin line between a small business and a startup. Okay, so what is a small business? What is a startup? A startup is any business venture that you are, quote unquote, starting. Business, any new venture that you are coming up with that is just new is called a startup. That is where the name comes from. A startup is a business venture that you are starting up. So for any new business that is a startup, could be a small one, okay? Could be a small one. depending on how you want to look at it. So when you say startup, when you say a small business, you are apparently saying the same thing. Except, okay, maybe over the months or over the course of 1-2 years, you've been able to thrive, then you call yourself a growing business. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as you are beginning a new business venture, you are a startup.
Okay. So I know these days we have fintech startups, many in Nigeria, the fintech startups. There are tech startups, and education startups, and I mean so many of that. But how can one build a startup? What are the ideas one should run with?
Oh, okay. Building a startup is no. First, it starts with having an idea. Okay, every successful business out there to be started from an idea. So you must have an idea that is unique, an idea that is out to offer solutions, okay, to its target audience, an idea that can stand the test of time, an idea that is capable of gaining traction over the next 1, 2, 3 years. Okay, so you begin with an idea, then after that you must conduct a feasibility study. A feasibility study and a business plan. That is, you test the viability, if it suits, or if it will serve, or if it will bring the desired outcome. Okay, because not every idea is worth pushing out there. That's just the sincere truth. I've seen over the course of 13 years, I've seen businesses start up and fail. Why? Because they just believe I can just start up a business and my target audience would embrace it. No. So you must have an idea. You must test the viability, okay, of your idea. Once you are sure that this business idea is worth pushing into the market, then you will start with your business structure. That is where you come with business registration, choosing the kind of structure you want to run with of that.
Okay, now what are the realities of having a startup in Nigeria?
Come again?
What are the realities, of having a startup in Nigeria?
The realities of having a startup in Nigeria is, I would say, it's a difficult climate in Nigeria to say the truth. It's a very difficult climate because the economic environment is not encouraging. Okay, there are so much infrastructural deficits. Unlike the advanced countries, you talked about the USA and some other advanced countries. When you want to start up, you see all these fintechs you mentioned at the beginning of this show. You find out that a majority of these fintechs, majority of these fintechs that you see thriving out there are either in the USA or maybe one of the Western countries. And the reason is not far-fetched. The reason is because the economic climate, their government have a system that supports, small businesses out there. Now, today in Nigeria, we see a number of fintechs being clamped upon by the Central Bank of Nigeria due to one regulatory issue or the other. So you see, these are the issues that cause for concern. Now, some of our startups, some of our fintechs are now having to relocate businesses from Nigeria to a country like Estonia and the UAE, UK, and US. This is not supposed to be so. Okay. Now the government should actually give small businesses, startups, encouragement to build businesses in Nigeria. So many issues. a business in Nigeria. Issues like multiple taxation, issues like power, for example. Okay, how do you want to start? Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, but some startups are really thriving. What about that? If you're saying some are leaving Nigeria, what about some that are thriving? Okay, I'm tempted to say Flutterwave, for example.
I was expecting you to say Flutterwave, Moses, but how many of businesses, how many startups like Flutterwave can you mention? How many? Flutterwave, yes, fine, but then that's just one out of so many businesses. Just one. Okay, apart from Flutterwave, can you mention at least 10? Okay, at least 10 that could just easily come to your mind. The truth is, entrepreneurs need support. Entrepreneurs need one of the support that I'm talking about now is funding. It is difficult getting funding in Nigeria, and as a small business, I will not encourage any small business to approach the bank because he or she wants to grow his business and all of that. We thank God for the wave of venture capitalists, okay? But then how many people do actually have this opportunity? There are so many things surrounding starting and growing a business, and the education aspect too is part of it. We appreciate the rate at which startups are growing lately, but then more still needs to be done when it comes to supporting and growing, helping startups in Nigeria. More still needs to be done. We know that our government is really trying, but then, if we really want to compete with startups in advanced countries, then more really needs to be done.
But yes, I know that government at all levels are really putting in place measures. For example, we talk about Bank of Industry, Development Bank of Nigerian DBN. In Ogun State, we have the Ogun Tech Hub, and we have we're a community of techpreneurs, here in Ogun State. What about that?
Well, like I said, more needs to be done. Bank of Industry, if I am able to talk about that, Bank of Industry supports more of manufacturing companies, more of manufacturing startups, but then, okay, maybe agricultural sector too. Yes, but how many of these sources do we have? How many? Bank of Industry, okay, you talked about Ogun State Hub, yeah, fine. But then considering the population, considering the size of the economy, just few people have access to these sources, just few people.
Yeah, well, Mr. Bankole, I could recall in 2016 when Mark Zuckerberg came to Nigeria, Lagos to be precise, and yes, he was so mesmerized by what Andela was doing that time. He invested about $24 million, in a startup, and we know that that startup has grown to be very, very big now. Are we still having that? Are we having foreign direct investment in our startups? And if we are, what is the attraction for the foreign investors?
Okay, because of the nature of my job, over the past 13 years, I've actually helped locals and expatriates to form companies in Nigeria. I'm a corporate administrator. I help entrepreneurs to set up their structures, to incorporate their companies, and to get their businesses going in Nigeria. Now, you talked about Mark coming to Nigeria and investing. Now you see the importance of funding in any business. It's so important. Now, one of the major issues, one of the major problems our local startups have is the lack of viable or lack of investment in their startups. Most startups in Nigeria, most local startups in Nigeria are just bootstrapping, funding their businesses with their savings, with little loans here and there, which is not enough. Now, the question is, are we having more funding as it were, in Nigeria by foreign investors? Yes, we are. You know, the trend lately is people getting seed investment, venture capitals, and all of that. Yes, that's the trend now, and I hope to see more of that coming up in the coming months. You know, and come 2022. So I see more of that coming in, but more of that, as it is now, is being channeled towards the fintech, because that's where the money is. But what about those in other sectors of the economy?
Yes, you did talk about fintech, a whole lot about that particular financial sector. But our time is fast spent. Quickly, let's round off now. One question. So if I have an idea, you know, for instance, and I believe, yes, that can be, you know, utilized by having a startup, you know, how can I go about it? For those that have ingenious ideas, brilliant ideas, and they want to have startups, you know, how can they go about this?
Okay, in the past 12 months now, we are in December. Okay, since the beginning of this year, I have been my company have been able to incorporate over 100 entrepreneurs who wants to start their businesses. Okay, now, like I said at the beginning of this program, you must have an idea. Your idea must be solution centered. Okay, have a business plan on how you're going to push this idea into the market. Then get a structure. Okay, you could want to start as a sole proprietor, a business name, or a limited liability company. I advise people to start as a limited liability company, because the opportunities as a limited liability company is more than that of a business name. Then start. Then, like I would always advise people, your idea must not necessarily need to be perfect from the word go, but you need to start. You need to start and do something. Okay, as you start the business, you might not even have an office. Okay, depending on the nature of your business, you might not have an office, but you need to start and do something. As you grow into the business, as you learn the ropes, you know, perhaps based on previous experience, then the sky is your starting point.
Okay. Many thanks, Mr. Ayokunle Bankole, you know, corporate administrator. I think, yes, this discussion will continue maybe next week or next 2 weeks. So we see, especially the fintech, you know, startups, you know, so much to talk, you know, about that. So thanks for honoring our invitation, Ayokunle.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure having you too, Moses.
Yeah, thank you, Bankole. Yes, that's the show this morning. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure you've learned a whole lot. You know, we started with bullying in schools, and now we just talked about business, you know, realities of building a startup in Nigeria. Yes, we'll end off the show now. So the program continues on Friday with another set of anchors. But tomorrow it will be time for the Yoruba version of this program, Otunojo, on Ogun State Television. Yes, do have a lovely day. Bye for now.